All right, y'all, welcome to the call. What we're trying to do today is just give some information, and Jet and Dr. Court were nice enough to spend their time with us today twice. So if you like what you hear today, at this moment, we have another call for you to invite people. I can tell you right now, when you invite people to the call, hang on a minute. When you invite people to the call, uh, how do I don't know how to undo it. Let's see. Uh, anyways, when you invite people to the call, what that does is being live on the call helps people be able to just get that energy from a live call. So that's why these live calls are important. I'm going to tell you about Jet and Dr. Court real quick, and then they're going to take over the call. So Jet is known as a breast cancer thriver, first of all, which is amazing. I think it is 8 years now, Jet.
Yes, ma'am.
She's a biochemist, environmental scientist, and the lead researcher for Dr. EMF, which they've done a lot of work on being part of the EMF, and they're going to go over that. And I also want them also to show a book that they're in because they wrote a chapter. And I think that's kind of cool for all of us to, as you can see, all of Dr. Prasad's books here. To me, this is a great tool. And if you ever do a meeting, for the ones that see me do meetings, I have a whole table of Dr. Prasad's books laid out. And that way people can just not hear that he's written books. They can actually see it and feel it and, skim through it so they know that it's the real deal. So also too, she has studied the cell danger response, inflammatory agent, and stem cell optimization for the past 5 years, probably 6 or 7 now, and has developed a comprehensive system approach to unlocking the healing cycle, nutrients, wakeful activities, and restorative sleep. Dr. Court is pioneering work has uncovered an innate sequence to healing, which starts in the brain, specifically at night. He is a faculty member of the Sleep Balance Academy, and Jet and Dr. Court work side by side. So everybody welcome them to the call, and they're going to start. So thank y'all for showing up and being a team player today.
Well,
Thanks.
thank you for having us. You want to go ahead and start with the presentation?
Sure.
Hang on. You know what? I want to start with an overview of why we're here. Okay. Is that we want to educate and empower you with the work we do so that you can go out there and really help all the people you're touching, not just the GLP-1 product, but really how all of it fits together and how they heal. So they're going to get the best results. That's why we're here.
And we love the product.
And we do love the product, and we love Dr. Prasad. So with that, you want to go ahead and start the presentation?
Sure. Hang on
Okay.
just a second. Okay. I'm just going to share.
Is that it?
I hope that's one.
Okay. Well, I
Maybe
think
I should do this one.
Yeah. And share that one. Beth, can you see our screen?
We can. Perfect.
All right.
All right.
So we started with this because everybody is all a buzz talking about GLP-1 Boost. And it's exciting, but I think the most important thing is that we already have a lot of research that Dr. Prasad has done that can really help really optimize the body to balance blood sugars. Because he told me this, I think it was about a year and a half ago. If I should master anything, I need to master really his papers on diabetes and blood sugar and insulin resistance, and because of the work we do in restorative sleep. And so that's what we've done. And so you want to go ahead and go to the next slide?
Yeah.
Here we go. Dr. Prasad, You want to give them the overview? They probably know a little bit about him, but your view of Dr. Prasad and why we're here.
Well, Dr. Prasad is the world's first PhD radiation biologist, and I shot X-rays for 25 years in my clinic. And I'm just going to tell our quick little story. Jet comes into my office and says, "Hey, you got to take this stuff," and hands me a box of the original MMF, which was in a cube box with a bunch of blister packs. And she said, "I'm going to go meet this doctor in Utah," and she left. And we were friends at the time. And I looked at the ingredients, and like so many doctors, I mean, we get just inundated with products to market. And I looked at the product, and I did what many people do. It looks like everything else, and I put it in my cabinet, my file cabinet. Well, she came back a few days later, and the reason we call Jet is because she operates at a different level than the rest of us, and she flies at 60,000 feet. And so she comes in, and I mean, it was like she goes, "Oh my gosh, it was such an amazing meeting. You just can't believe how crazy this meeting was. So cool. Dr. Prasad's amazing. What do you think of the product? Are you feeling any better?" And I'm like, "I feel about the same." And she goes, "Yeah, but don't you feel better? Don't you feel like you have more energy and things like that?" And I'm like, "No, I feel about the same." She goes, "How's your sleep? How's your energy? How are you feeling?" And I'm like, "I feel about the same." And then she stops and she looks at me and she goes, "All right, take that box out of your cabinet, break open two of them and put them in your mouth."
Because that was the dose, was two.
Because she
Two twice a
knew
day.
that I hadn't taken it. I share that with you because I did start taking it, and then my mom got real sick and died. And the stress that I was under, um, the microdaily, the original formula, helped me to get through one of the most difficult situations of my life. And so that is the reason we've devoted the last, gosh, 10 years to this product and being a part of microdaily.
And there was only one product for most of our time. And so now we have a suite of products.
Right. And we have shared a lot of our stuff with Dr. Prasad, and Dr. Prasad has listened to some of the things that we say. So it's very exciting.
Great.
Is there anything else you want me to add about Dr. Prasad? I
No,
mean, we all know how phenomenal he is,
he is.
and we hear all those things,
He
but
was also my sage when I was going through breast cancer. And I want everyone to know, he said, it's not your nutrients because I was taking the micro daily product. It's your stress. You've got to work on your stress. And so that's where I started working on mindfulness and my breath work and other things. But I healed very fast. Um, I had a bilateral mastectomy, and in 5 weeks I was ready for a reconstruction, and I was completely healed in 90 days. And Dr. Prasad was my guide. So I want for everybody to know on here. I mean, he really is that man. So it's
yeah.
good. All right. So when we're on this call talking about GLP-1, a lot of people take this because they're having issues balancing their blood sugar, or they have insulin resistance. And I want to start with the basics and why we're here. Dr. Prasad already has this peer-reviewed paper that was actually published in the late 2023 for the prevention and improved treatment of diabetes using a micronutrient mixture, probiotics, omega-3, and collagen peptides. Okay. If you don't have this paper on this call, please take a screenshot of this, and then you can look it up, and you can be able to, I would print it out. I would have it stored because this is an incredible paper. It's very novel. And we know, and in this work, that when you follow this for 90 days and you take the guidance of Dr. Prasad through this paper for 90 days, every red blood cell is brand new. And so instead of hauling on a red blood cell, the sugar likes to stick on there. And the higher your hemoglobin A1C, which you can see right here in the abstract, which is one of the measures, in 90 days, we don't have all of the glucose molecules stuck on there. And the more they're stuck on there, the stickier they are. And that causes all kinds of issues with insulin resistance. And so in 90 days, the glucose won't be on there. And we've seen so many people balance their blood sugar in that time just with this Core 4 product.
You know, with the original product, he also had a patent on the treatment of diabetes, and that was we finished in 2007. I don't have the book in front of me, but 2008 or 2009, he had that original patent. But how many more people do you think have blood sugar issues now in the world population than back in 2008?
I think it's a pandemic. That's one of the reasons why we're on this call, because people are searching and looking, not just for weight loss. They have an issue with their blood sugar. They have insulin resistance. So they need a strategy. So here we are with this peer-reviewed paper. Okay. And you can have this in your arsenal to explain to people that, yes, Dr. Prasad did have a patent with the original product, right? To be able to help balance blood sugar. But this comprehensive approach, which is called our Core 4. Why don't you go to the next screen?
Mm-hmm.
Whoops.
Going the wrong way.
Okay. With the Core 4, this product, this screen of the Core 4 are the products used in that peer-reviewed paper. So for everybody knowing that, and it's also patent pending.
Yes, I made a mistake. Sorry. Patent pending.
No, the actual 2007
is a patent.
Is a patent.
Right.
There's already a patent that Dr. Prasad personally has, but this is patent pending based off of the previous paper. So I'm going to walk through this briefly. And the reason why this is so important, this is the foundation. When you skip steps and we just want to do GLP Boost, we're not giving everybody the optimal approach. In order to be the very best in the world, we have to be the best educated to understand everything we can do to deliver results. Because this is results. I want to see people's A1Cs in the normal range. Okay. I mean, and in the insulin, their insulin doesn't have, they're not resistant. That can be balanced out, but we have to start with a foundation. And for those of you here that you're new and maybe you're excited about GLP-1, I'm excited too. It's going to be we're going to get to that piece, but this is the foundation. We already have a proven, patent pending, peer-reviewed strategy for the prevention and improved treatment of diabetes before GLP-1. So let's start there. The very first product is microdaily EMF, and that can be in both a capsule, hydro form, or for the children in the gummies, okay, which is patented. This product you must have on hand. For those of you on here,
sorry,
okay, our service dog is being a little, okay,
go.
All right. For those of you on here, if you do not have, I'm going to be positive. Everyone should have a couple boxes of hydro on hand. If you must have product in hand to get product in bodies. The longer we wait, we have that gap. When people are excited, they want product now. One of the reasons why Beth is successful is that strategy alone. And I know she can talk about that. You have to have it. It's actually saved some of her clients' lives because she had those right then and they didn't have to wait a week before they started cancer treatment.
You know, Jet, people always say, I don't mean to interrupt you, but people always say, well, why do I need this? Well, here's the bottom line. If you have one of these, then you need this. If you have a computer, if you have Wi-Fi in your home, if you live near any kind of towers, if you utilize our technology, then you absolutely have to have the microdaily EMF formula to protect you from the inside out, to decrease oxidative stress and inflammation at the same time. This is an emergency essential. Honestly, Core 4 is an emergency essential. It's not something that, maybe I want to take this or I want to take that. No, emergency essential. Go ahead.
And I think that having the hydro on hand or capsules, you're going to be able to get people started and they feel different. Most people are very nutrient deficient, but one or two nutrients could really change how they feel. And so this product is so important to have on hand. The next one, and it is patent pending as well, individually. the probiotic daily. For those of you that don't know me, I have worked in the microbiome world. I'm actually we'll share that today. I am actually writing a clinical research and working with a company that does the gut microbiome down to the strain level. They can actually diagnose. They just presented to NIH. They can diagnose colorectal cancer to the specific strain. I am writing the sleep portion of that. Okay, that's my contribution to this research. So I'm very passionate about this as a biochemist and being able to do this work. Probiotic Daily. So Probiotic Daily is a patent pending, complete suite of specific bifidobacterium, lactobacillus, which they're renaming. We have an S. boulardii, and we have spores. We have this beautiful suite, and also the prebiotic, which is the specific food for each one of them. It is incredible. There are a lot of probiotics in the market, but there are very few that are patent pending, and he will get the patent on this product. And I want you to know, when I'm doing this research, I think about and I look at how Probiotic Daily is such a beautifully masterfully crafted product that you don't have to take 5 or 6 different things. It really has all of that in that you need. And it's such a great product. At a bare minimum, for everybody on this call, your clients or patients must be on Micro Daily EMF and the probiotic, because so many people have dysbiosis. And so because I measure this at the most precise level, I think that, and Dr. Prasad said, we've got to get this right, because that's where all the building blocks are made. And so this is imperative. And actually, when I asked our brand new diamond here that lives in a small town, she owns an organic coffee and tea shop, what is her number one seller? Because she added, after she met Dr. Prasad, she brought the product into her shop. And so it's sitting up there. Do you know what she said her number one seller was?
I bet I can guess.
What?
I bet it's probiotic.
It is probiotic. Okay. And so what's exciting, and you would think it'd be collagen or a different product. These two are a must. So hang on, all the people that you share GLP-1 with, they must be on these two products at a minimum to get the results.
$3.33 a day. Are you kidding me? That's half of what a cup of coffee is, unless you're traveling in Vegas, and then you're going to pay $12 for a cup of coffee.
That's true.
But the other thing about this probiotic that is personal to me, so Jet and I were involved in the whole beginning research of spore probiotics at the very, very beginning. And we shared a lot of this with Dr. Prasad and so forth. But recently I had a very serious infection in my leg, and called complex regional pain syndrome. And for those of you on the call, I have to tell you, being in medicine for the last 40 years, I called the doctors and I said, okay, this is what we think we have here. What's your treatment? And I kid you not, they said to me, there is no treatment. There is no cure. We call this the suicide disorder. And I had to sit back, and Jet and I had a little prayer and then said, okay, we're going to find the cure for this. So I was on crutches for 4 months and not able to even sleep with a sheet or have any air or even move my foot without mind-blowing, excruciating pain. And they put me on a couple of big time antibiotics, and Jet, being the amazing researcher that she is, she comes back with, hey, I got more bad news for you. But there's good news too. The bad news is the stuff that you took will actually destroy your gut biome for 2 years. That's the bad news. The good news is
that we have Probiotic Daily to be able to repopulate and
Danny Bate.
Okay. And I also want you to know Dr. Court has been partially paralyzed in that leg for 17 years. So it's been compromised, and it doesn't take much, but I want you to know he's off crutches, and we are now rebuilding his gut microbiome, and actually when I explained to him the 2 rounds of serious antibiotics he was on, they're like, his gut microbiome looks better than most people, that have not taken antibiotics, but still for us, we're looking for optimal. We're not looking for average, but it can wipe out the diversity. And that is very scary because that is where your GABA is made. That's where your B vitamins are made. That's where so many building blocks are made or not.
But the solution is that Dr. Prasad, in his insight, actually had the appropriate probiotic and prebiotic that we needed to fix my damage to my gut.
Yeah.
And so
and it's called symbiotic because you have the appropriate precision probiotics with the appropriate food. Okay. And
so there's the emergency essential, because how many of us have been on antibiotics in the last 2 years? They hand them out like chiclets.
Right. It might be a great question for when you're visiting with people. Have you been on antibiotics?
Yep.
Because it is the number one factor. Okay. So omega-3 daily, Dr. Prasad, and all those books that Beth has behind her, he has talked about in his work, being the director of vitamins and cancer research, right, at the University of Colorado Medical School and teaching physicians. He has mentioned in most of those textbooks a minimum of 1,000 milligrams of omega-3s. But now he would never have put a omega-3 in here if it was a me too, just a standard. This is also a patent pending product. Have you ever heard of an omega-3 that's a patent pending product?
Well, I've never heard of an omega-3 as a patent pending product. I've never heard of an omega-3 with a 4-year shelf life. But Jet, and everybody on this call, when we were going through COVID, one of our solutions for our patients, obviously this was a big part of what we did, but we put them on high dose omega-3s. And higher dose than what we have in our capsules, but it would be equivalent to taking 2 to 3 capsules
before this product came out.
Right. We were doing it with liquid, and we had shared that with Dr. Prasad as well. So we gave him a couple of cases of the stuff that we were bringing in. But I think it was one of the major contributors for decreasing the inflammation and improving the blood of our patients that had COVID. But for me personally, here's a crazy thing. I was on it, I think I did 2 or 3 days, and I started to notice that the cataract in my left eye was clearing, and I couldn't believe it. So here we are. We've put this in our diet since it came out. The cataract is gone. I've gone to a neuro-ophthalmologist, and he said, you don't have a cataract in that eye. And my vision has improved from a 2.5 to a 1.0. Most of the time, I don't even wear glasses. So that's pretty incredible at 59 years old that my vision has improved so significantly. I love the eye boost, and I think the eye boost is phenomenal, but this was on the omega. And so this omega product is absolutely, what did I say initially? It's an emergency essential. We've got the micro daily EMF, the probiotic, the omega, and now we got to talk about the collagen.
We do. So our patented collagen, and again, I don't think there are very many patented collagens on the market. Our collagen is patented. It's an incredible product, and I've seen such great results in elite performers. So we have an elite performer here. She's actually competing all natural, and she'll be at the Arnold Classic. Very strong, very strong. And we've added that second dose at night for her, and she's seeing massive recovery. And so why don't you tell them why they got the patent for the collagen, for our grass-fed collagen?
Well, there's a lot of, thanks, Jet. There's a lot of collagens out there. And I speak to people all the time, and they say, oh, well, I'm already taking collagen. I said, okay, great. Tell me if you have any enzyme inhibitors in your collagen. And then I just be quiet. And they're like, no. I said, are you sure? No, we don't have any enzyme inhibitors. I know, because we have it. And that's what our patent is. The enzyme inhibitors are amazing. Why? Because after the age of 40, our body starts to break down its own collagen. We get wrinkly, we lose our hair, our muscles aren't as big. And this is part of the natural process of life. 2 enzymes, collagenase and hyaluronidase, those start to break down our body. But not only do they break down our body, they also break down our organs. And just yesterday, I was talking to a lady who's had multiple concussions, a horrible, horrible car wreck, and she has chronic blinding migraines. And so I said, "Are you taking the college?" And she's like, "No." Then I started describing to her, why is this so important? Well, as we age, our body starts to break down, and Dr. Prasad has figured out how to inhibit the body's natural breakdown of collagenase and hyaluronidase. Why is this important? Well, just like trying to, you have a flat tire and you look at it, and I always kid people, well, it's only flat on the bottom, but you cannot drive on a flat tire. And as we age, our organs even change shape. Our muscles change shape. Our skin loses their structure,
structural integrity.
their structure and their shape. Well, guess what? The brain loses its structure and shape as well. So, is collagen important? Collagen's critical. 30% of our body is made of collagen, and we're the only ones that I know of with enzyme inhibitors. So, on this overview, when we look at core 4, do you understand why I say this is an emergency essential? We will never be without it. And Jet's done a lot of the lifting for us.
So, for everybody on here, okay, we have our own personal stash. Okay, like it's like, okay, and I know Beth has hers, but I want you to know, because we had that this month, we actually, because we're working with physicians, right? And they're like, I'm not ready for a subscription. Okay. But they're interested. So we don't want to. So what do? We actually sent them the product, right? So we're not messing around. And if they're here, so we can get to have core 4 on hand. I know Beth's shaking her head right now with me. Okay. We need to have a couple of those on hand so that when someone says yes, you have totally just skipped right over every obstacle. They can get started right now. Okay. And so we emptied out a couple of our core 4s, and I'm like, woo, it's getting a little low up there. But you know what? The beautiful thing is it's now getting replenished. But you have to have it handy so that they can say yes today. And then 2 weeks from now, when the GLP-1 and the other things, 3 weeks, whatever, come out, that guess what? They're already bought in because they're feeling better. Because they are feeling better, because their blood sugar is balancing out. I want you to know these 4 products have the peer-reviewed paper, right? And patent pending for the prevention and improved treatment of diabetes. So,
or high blood sugar, which almost everybody has.
Yeah, and insulin resistance. So let's go into the next one.
Yeah. So,
okay. So I'm sorry.
We're gonna have to shift gears.
Yeah, so another aspect of how we heal, guys, and this is so important. And I'm sorry that I didn't get to put sleep on here. I had to add this on. Okay. In order for people to heal, like everybody on here, we want every person that said yes to you to get the very best results. And I hope you hear that from us. We know, okay, because we're on faculty at the Sleep Balance Academy. And as the biochemist, I teach sleep biochemistry and that aspect. That's when we heal. We heal at night. And specifically for glucose metabolism and regulation, it happens during slow wave sleep, which is at the beginning of the night, but our body has to cool down a couple degrees, and we have to sleep in a cool, dark room. So get rid of the EMF. The EMF and electrical fields and chemicals in your room, all of those things affect your ability to cool down, because it's an external stressor that Dr. Prasad has taught, like that any external stressor like EMF, okay, will cause internal stressors and will raise your temperature. So if we want glucose metabolism to be optimal, okay, and reboot at night, we must get to slow wave sleep. And if we're not getting there, I don't care how much GLP-1 you're taking, you're not going to get better.
Unplug your lamps. Charge your phone at the other end of your house. If you use it for an alarm clock, go buy a little $5 digital alarm clock, but clean out all the electric fields. Unplug everything in your bedroom so that you have a sleep sanctuary.
Cool, a cool, clean, dark room.
Bingo.
Okay. So restorative sleep. So if we're not we want to get to slow wave sleep, what would hinder us from having optimal glucose metabolism at night? Okay. That's where, when we optimize that, that is when we're going to be able to balance our blood sugar and insulin resistance during that time. And that's why this next 90 days, people must be sleeping. And I'm going to tell you, the next slide, I'll show you the product, but let's talk about what causes people not to be able to get to restorative sleep. Dr. Quart's main area is really more structural and EMF hygiene. Those two are his areas on faculty. Structural airway, that would be snoring. If somebody is snoring, they're suffocating.
Yeah, we
Correct?
should do another talk on snoring at some point, but
Okay.
yep.
So there's a structural aspect here. And I don't normally snore, but I am this time of year because a lot of times we have forced air. And so our passages, our nasal passages and throats. And so now I am. And so we have to come up with some other strategies to keep our nasal, look at him smile. I normally am not a snorer, but I am seasonally. Okay. Okay. Hello. Hang on. Hang on. You've had obstructive sleep apnea your whole life.
Yeah, since I was a child, I actually was a sleepwalker, sleep talker. A lot of our kids that have ADD, ADHD, and are struggling in schools because they don't sleep at night. And most people think, oh, I snore a little bit. I talk to people all day long about this. I snore a little bit, and it's really not that big a deal. My wife snores more than I do. It's a monster deal. You need to understand in this call that is probably one of the biggest things that has an effect on our overall health. Because if we're snoring, we're actually suffocating, and it's a problem with the airway. And as adults, if we've had braces, that can create a major issue with our sleep. If we have small nostrils, that can create a problem with our sleep. Sleep is something that we need to dive into on our own with you guys, but it is a major component. And now, Jet, we've just been published in a book. Jet, can you show that to the crowd?
So I'll show this at the end as well, but this just came out as called Beautiful Faces. We have a chapter in here that Dr. Richard Downs, who's the creator of the Sleep Balance Academy, we're on faculty. He put a section on EMF, even though this is more structural in there, because he said we were pioneers bringing that to him. So, and thanked us. So I'll show you the book up close at the end.
And he loves the product. He's taking the product. He understands the importance of the probiotic, the micro daily EMF. He understands, and we have been educating in the Sleep Balance Academy for several years.
Right. We're on faculty.
For doctors.
So the second one, like we talked about with sleep hygiene, is really important, and circadian alignment. And really, it's creating a sleep sanctuary, not eating after 6, reducing your blue light and EMF. All those things do matter because we measure at the highest level. Like our level of measurement, with our team, our team can diagnose obstructive sleep apnea severe. I mean, like we have the ability to measure at that level. The next one is insomnia. This is really important. And it could be from the EMF, but a lot of times it's because we don't have the good bacteria in our gut microbiome to make the GABA and the glycine that we must have, and the tryptophan that we must have to be able to get to sleep. Okay. And so we have strategies for that. And then the last one, which very few people talk about.
I want to go back to insomnia for just a second. Another reason I have insomnia is that I love popcorn at night. And what Jet's trying to teach me is to eat within the daylight. And once it's dark, don't eat. And there's times where you're watching a movie or something, and you're like, man, I want some popcorn, or I want a charcuterie plate, or, maybe I should. Some people drink alcohol, and all these things affect your ability to get into those sleep patterns. And the biggest bugaboo of the whole bunch is looking at your phone last thing at night. And a lot of us, most of us probably do that, where we check our messages, or we get on Instagram or Facebook and got to say goodnight to a bunch of people. Well, guess what? You're now inhibiting your ability to fall asleep. Let's hit pain, and we got to keep on rolling.
Okay. This is one of the things, most people that have pain go to a pain management doctor or a chiropractor. Okay. The thing is that we don't really talk about pain and the inability to sleep. When you have chronic pain or acute pain, you don't get restorative sleep. And so 1 and 2 are sleep deprived. And if we put pain into that, it's even a higher number. There is no disease higher than 1 and 2 in sleep deprivation. So looking at all of these sleep issues, I'm sorry I didn't title that. I had to hustle to get this done for today's call. We have a solution for these. We just talked about some of the education, but let's go to the answers.
Next slide.
Yep. Okay. So what we have is our sleep boost, which is patent pending. And by the way, recommended from the Sleep Balance Academy. It is safe, it is effective, and I think it's a great value because I truly only need one. I need one. It actually has all the building blocks that you need to be able to make, like the L-tryptophan, to be able to make the building blocks from serotonin to melatonin. But also the herbals that he put in there, which he's very careful of herbals.
Go ahead,
Okay?
very good.
He is very careful. They actually make more GABA, and you have to have GABA to get to REM sleep. So I love the Sleep Boost. This is a great product when people are like, if you know 1 and 2 don't sleep, okay, and then this is a great to have on hand, because if you can get people feeling better, they're going to go, what else do you have? We have to talk. We have to find out why, right? And I think that most people, they're not getting to restorative sleep. And if we can have those solutions that are safe, they're safe. And to me, that is so important. So this Sleep Boost, but then if you find out, are they in pain? Because people aren't going to run around and tell you that because they live with it. When they put the Sleep Boost and the CBD Boost together, we can be able to provide the building blocks to get to restorative sleep, but we can also be able to put the CBD and help that endocannabinoid system. And it's okay. Like if we can get 3 nights of restorative sleep and get them out of pain, our body will naturally unlock to heal. Isn't that awesome? Okay.
Well, and you know, with the CBD jet, our company controls the CBD from seed to planting to growth to harvest to manufacture. We control it all. The guy who has it's a very good friend of Dave's. So this is a CBD isolate. It's 99.997% pure CBD isolate, no THC. So there's no goofy feeling with it. But one of the things that we've discovered in sleep is that 25 milligrams, that's not good enough.
No,
we got to do 50.
We have to do at least 50 milligrams, because when you just do one CBD, it actually can keep you awake. And I want everybody on here to know something, that if you're in pain at night, you've got to get out of it. Okay. And ask the question when you're helping people, ask why are they not sleeping? Okay. Because people don't want to complain, but you're like, are you in pain? Because you can be able to provide that strategy. And if you know that 1 and 2 are sleep deprived, give them the solution and have it on hand. Don't say, oh, let's order this. Have it available, because if they can get to sleep that night, you got them. And then they're going to tell everybody, this is it. You're their trusted advisor. Okay. And once you do that, you're going to continue being educated and empowered to be able to help people that you care about. Right.
And we talked about, high blood sugar. Let's talk about, we can talk about diabetic neuropathy. Oh, wow. Now there's something that's very common, and this is one of those solutions. I also find the CBD is really helpful for what I like to call UMS, which affects both men and women. It's called ugly mood swings. And from time to time, some of us have that. And so when you have UMS, just a simple handful of CBD, 4 capsules, maybe more, will help you with UMS. Should we go on?
No, hang on. I want to empower, hang on. I want to empower people on here that if you're in pain, you've got to get out of that for at least 3 nights. So if you need to take 5, okay, it's safe. The amount that children that for a CBD isolate that have seizures, it's I don't even know how many, 25 of them, 25 capsules. It's a massive number. Okay. It's safe. But the most important thing, hear me, if you're in pain, you've got to get out of it and go for 3 nights. And then your body's going to go, I am safe. So it can heal. So don't go, oh, I can only take 2 or 3. I want you to know you got to get out of pain and educate people and empower them, like pull it out of them. Why are they not sleeping? Because if it's insomnia, maybe because their gut microbiome is not making the GABA. Okay. So we need to be able to provide them those tools.
I just want you to know, don't be pulling your hair out over it. Just take the CBD.
Okay. Next one.
Okay.
All right. Here we go to GLP-1.
Woohoo!
So this is not my area of expertise, and a lot of you have been learning about that, but you can see that when you put the core 4, right, and you get people to restorative sleep and you add in this GLP-1, okay, that's safe. That's not going to cause muscle loss. Okay.
Huge problem.
How about bone loss? How about gastroparesis, which is life threatening? We can be able to offer a complete suite of products that aren't just focusing on weight loss, but will actually, if they go get their blood work done, which I recommend everybody to do in the winter, every season, see where you are, get your baseline, then we can be able to see in 90 days what's really happening. Take your inches, take your blood work, right? And be able to do that. We actually measure fasting blood sugar, uric acid, and ketones every morning so that we can be able to see, where we are. But this is an amazing boost. And it probably will be because 75% of adults in the US are overweight.
And under-muscled.
And under-muscled. And we need muscle to be able to, our mitochondria, to be able to have energy and to be able to do these things. But I think with this, I heard this, I'm going to borrow the phrase. Health by stealth. Okay. Maybe what all the stuff I'm giving you, maybe they're really just interested in, that they're overweight. Okay. But we're really giving them optimal health by stealth. Okay.
What happens, Jet, if we lose our muscle? What happens to our brain?
Well, we don't have the energy for anything because we don't have the mitochondria. I mean, we don't have that fuel. And it's
There's definitely.
Absolutely. But one of the things on here that I want to talk about, why I'm very excited about the GLP-1 boost, is that we are going to see results. We're going to see optimal results with what we just gave you. And that's what we're really asking you to do. You need to be the best educated, have your product on hand, be able to answer those questions. One of the reasons why I'm so concerned about the bone loss, the sarcopenia, and I'm having a brain fart. The 2 bone loss in general is because that in the bone, in the marrow, is where our stem cells are. So if we're losing that, we're losing our ability to heal. Okay. So this is the GLP-1. Go ahead, Dr. Court. And here is the patent pending GLP-1 product that I'm sure there are very detailed trainings on. And it will go in there all together. Are there any comments you'd like to say on this?
Yeah, what's really exciting about this? Not only is it patent pending, but because Dr. Prasad said this, and he hates my accent, but because I use all these herbal ingredients, we've got a proprietary blend. So because we have a proprietary blend, nobody else can see how much of what we have in there. So it's just another level that we have. And don't tell him I did his accent because he hates my accent.
So glutamine is super important in our body, especially for our gut microbiome. Okay. And it is also in our collagen as well. But these ingredients stimulate both GLP-1 and GIP-1, and they stimulate the glutamine. Okay. And which is super important. And so that's the amino acid glutamine. And so it also regulates the secretion of insulin.
But the other day I was doing a talk with Dr. Prasad, and we talked about glutamine because one of the precursors, what he's working on with his high dose micronutrient in the treatment of cancer is that we have to block glucose and glutamine. So he said, don't take this product if you're on the cancer protocol. Important.
Or if you have cancer.
Right. So we don't want to feed the cancer glutamine. Kalanoji seed extract.
It inhibits glucose absorption and reduces appetite. And this is a really important ingredient because people have cravings, and it could be from their gut microbiome.
100%.
So got to get that healthy as well with the probiotic. Go ahead, Dr. Court.
And these things work at different times in this formula. So cool. Go ahead, Jet. Curcumin.
Curcumin. And Dr. Prasad actually uses this like on his table, like how we have salt and pepper. I have salt, pepper, parsley, okay, on our table, but he has curcumin. And I think for all of us, we'd be better off if we did that. But obviously we have curcumin in other products, but in this formulation, it increases the secretion of GLP-1 and GIP. It reduces oxidative stress. It's anti-inflammatory. It reduces fat formation. We all would like that. It enhances energy and again, reduces appetite.
So you're going to see through these slides that there's reduce appetite, reduce appetite, reduce appetite. And it's
synergistic.
Thank you.
Right. Then we have
kind of like us.
Well, sometimes we're synergistic. Right now we're gelling. Okay. So ginseng, ingredients that stimulate GLP-1. It stimulates the secretion of GLP-1 and reduces insulin resistance and hyperglycemia. What I'm excited about, can you guys see like why it's so important to have the core 4 to be able to help balance the blood sugar? And then you're putting this boost in, man, are they going to get good results? We're going to see phenomenal results, and it is safe. How about them apples? It improves cognitive function by increasing acetylcholine. Why this is important? It helps with your frontal lobe. That is dementia. When we have a decrease in acetylcholine, that is the number one factor, for dementia. So we want to make sure that we have acetylcholine. There it says it right there, is responsible for storing memory. Right?
Right.
Protects neurons from oxidative and inflammatory damage, improves insulin sensitivity, and decreases glucose formation in the liver, reduces appetite.
I wonder if that has anything to do with, high blood sugar.
It has everything to do with
everything to do with it. All right.
Pomegranate. I love pomegranates.
I love pomegranate.
Okay. But one of the reasons why pomegranate is so important is because of the polyphenols. That is the pigment. It's the pigment. Okay, that causes that. And it's also, I'm going to give you, is a specialized prebiotic that also helps in our gut. And we're going to learn more about that down the road, I'm certain, which stimulates the secretion of GLP-1. It also increases the secretion of insulin from the pancreas to the blood. And it is a very strong antioxidant to reduce inflammation because of the color, because of that pigment. And again, reduces appetite.
You know what? I don't know if I believe this because the polyphenols, that's the the pigment. There was a lot of inflammation in my life from having pomegranate fights because it doesn't come out in the laundry. I'm just saying.
Well, that's separate from this. Okay. Then we have fruits extracts of Gardenia jasminoids. Again, increases the secretion of GLP-1 and protects islet of beta cells from oxidative stress. So important. And has also antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Enhances insulin sensitivity and insulin flow. Very important. And reduces appetite.
You know, as we go through these slides, there's a lot of things about decreasing inflammation, and we can tie that into what we see in high
In the
high insulin levels, diabetes, so forth. Our products, including Core 4, decrease oxidative stress and inflammation. You see how
simultaneously.
simultaneously, you see how brilliant Dr. Prasad is?
He is.
And he just continues to build upon this number one disorder, which is oxidative stress and inflammation.
Fenugreek seed extract is rich in soluble fiber, and we must have a variety of different fibers because they are the foods for the good bacteria to have diversity. Inulin being one, green bananas, those types of things. But the work that I do is really prescriptive on polyphenols and prebiotic fibers for the good bacteria to really help our probiotic do its job. All right, aids in digestion, which is very important, helps regulate blood sugar levels, promotes excretion of fat, inhibits fat accumulation. Wow, like that one. It it lowers the bad cholesterol, which is like the LDLs and the VLDLs. If you have high HDL, good on you. Doesn't matter what your other practitioner says. We want good cholesterol.
And it reduces the appetite.
It does. Go ahead, Dr. Court.
Berberine. So berberine helps to stimulate the secretion of the GLP-1. You know, Dr. Prasad and I have been on several calls, and it just astounds me. The half-life of GLP-1 is a minute and a half.
What happens after that?
Then it starts to be not so good for you. And this is where we're seeing.
Well, how did he fix that?
Well, he fixed that by creating the GIP so that it helps to inhibit that. It also improves beta cell function, improves production and flow of insulin from into the blood, and it decreases the levels of glucose in the blood and reduces the appetite. And Beth, if I'm not, feel free to jump in if we're saying something that.
So I want to this slide right here. Okay, this slide, I haven't liked this product for many years. Okay, and I have friends that work in insurance.
Ozempic product.
Ozempic,
right?
No,
okay.
Wegovy. It's Wegovy. It's not Wegovy. It's Wegovy. I want you to know from an insurance perspective. Like I have people they're on that side. This got so out of control that people were coming in and then they no longer were diabetic. And then they couldn't prescribe it. And then all of a sudden they have gastroparesis, and it has led down this whole pipeline of insurance, like health issues that is massive. And we know this from 2 different people that work with insurance companies. And this is a massive problem. And I said, wouldn't you like a strategy to be able to help these people that's safe?
Well,
I mean,
it's creating other things that they have to get on prescriptions for because of the deleterious aspects.
It's not just prescriptions, it's surgeries. Gastroparesis is life-threatening. Okay. Bone loss is very serious. That means in your older age, you're not going to be able to create stem cells to heal.
Right.
Okay. And muscle loss with all of those things for weight loss. How about we look at the price that people are currently paying, or their insurance is paying, but the insurance is going to, it's a really interesting time because the surgeries and the, not just medications, but very serious contraindications from these drugs. It's a really good time to come to market with this educated, sweet approach to be able to help people.
How many people do we know that have had a fall and then have broken something, even people our age, that have fallen down the stairs,
almost 60,
or tipped over, and they end up breaking bones, break a hip, break a knee. When you break a hip, at our age, it becomes it dramatically shortens your lifespan, and that's a big problem.
Okay, so here we are with the pre-launch special. Okay, and so Dave has extended it out through today. Okay, and buy 2 get 1 free. Okay, for $240, and that's with a subscription. So for all of you on here that went out and sold this or sold one, and we didn't get people on that subscription or for them to get optimal results. We need to get out of people's pocketbooks. If they're willing to spend that much money, okay, for weight loss and put their lives in jeopardy, we need to get out of their checkbook and offer them the very best product that's going to deliver results and that's safe.
You know, I think about the $12 cups of coffee that we bought when we were in Vegas. You'd think that was an emergency essential. That's less than what we would spend
when we're
on
working
Core 4.
working conferences.
Yeah.
And they don't even have they don't have a coffee machine or anything in the room. So you have to, go out and purchase them. But we're like, wow, so when we look at what people spend on a daily basis, right? What's more important than your health?
Well, and I think, we've done a lot of thinking on this product, on the GLP Boost product. And I really do feel that, stop share down there on the bottom.
You want to do that, Dr.
Sure.
Court?
I think that this product, the GLP Boost, actually becomes part of our emergency essentials. What do you think, Beth?
I think you're totally right. And one of the reasons why I keep a stock, like y'all said, is because when you need to help people in the heat of the moment, if you do not have what they need, how are you going to help them?
Mm-hmm.
So very important to have a stock of products. And, if anybody wants to come on here and ask a few questions, because I know we've been about an hour right now, but if you want to ask a few questions, we do want you to be able to participate. But I will see.
The book too, Beth.
Yeah, and send me that and I'll post it in the WhatsApp so people have that book title. And I can say, the tools to, do you think I'm going to read all of these books behind me from Dr. Prasad? I doubt it. That's just not who I am. But I can skim through it and, have a piece, or I can bring it to an event or whatever. So that's what it's all about. And the other thing I'll say is thank you for sharing how important supporting the body is and not just taking a GLP. It's kind of like having a broken rope in the center and you're trying to cross a river and you want to get to the other side, but you don't want to support the broken piece of rope. So supporting all of the systems is what's important. So, and we are going to have this call posted so people can hear that aren't on it. I know I'm getting texts about that.
Beth, I love what you just said. And all of our Boost products are really cool. But I just had one the other day, and Jet and I discovered this when the Heart Boost came out. We were in Utah with you, and then we went to Vegas, and we went over a bunch of really high passes.
We had conferences. We're not just gallivanting.
Yeah, we had conferences to go to, but we went over 3 or 4 11,000-foot passes and had a little bit of altitude sickness. And I would say to Jet, give me a couple of those Heart Boosts, and I'd chew them up and swallow them. And within 8 minutes, my brain fog went away. But now I also see that with EMF, because being sensitive to electromagnetic fields, it's a state of shock, and my brain starts to go down, and you'll see that I have a different tempo in my voice and I'm losing my thoughts and things like that. So that product, I love the Heart Boost. And just the other day, I utilized the Heart Boost. Kaizen, I utilized the Heart Boost for a patient who had migraines. And she had 4 days of migraine headaches. And I said, look, I have a half a bottle of Heart Boost. I'll bring it over to you. And she goes, well, what's that going to do? It's my head, not my heart. And I said, no, it's your arteries. And this is going to help. And she's like,
it's going to help get blood flow to the brain.
So I had her take 3 of them, and I called her a little bit later. I'm like, how are you? She goes, it's helped a lot, but it's still there. I said, take 3 more. It's not going to hurt you to take 3 more. And so she took 3 more. And then the next day she called me and she goes, okay, this is the first time I've been out of my headache for several days. And she's someone who had a high-speed stop with a inanimate object and went through the windshield. Really bad brain injury. And this has been phenomenal for her. And so she immediately went on and bought several bottles of the Heart Boost because of how it works on the symptoms that we all see. And we see this with, listen, EMF, people go, oh, well, I'm not sensitive. No, we're all sensitive. We're all affected by electric fields. And it helps so much. And it helps with, I think it helps with the speed that our products work as well.
That's a good point.
And so I love the combination of ingredients that we have in our products.
But I think the key there, Beth, is that he had it on hand.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We got to help people with what their issue is. If they're coming to you, it's about weight loss, or if they're coming, like really, maybe they're not sleeping or they're in a lot of pain, and that's why they're not getting to restorative sleep so that their glucose regulation could work. If we had it, he had it on hand. He had it on hand, so he helped her.
And I didn't give her a brand new bottle. I gave her a partial full bottle, so she knew that that was my bottle. And she's like, no, I can't take your bottle. I'm like, yeah, you can. I got 10 others in the cupboard. I didn't tell her that, but by giving her a half a bottle, when she finishes, she's like, I gotta get this. And she immediately went and ordered that. So that's the other thing. Don't give somebody a brand new bottle. Give them a partial bottle so that it gives them.
They can sell one new right there, Russ.
Well, if I'm shipping stuff, I sell them a brand new one. But if I'm going to share it with somebody, let them know that, hey, this is my bottle. I'm going to share it with you.
Well, the other thing too is people have to know that any type of response, a lot of people feel like a response is a bad thing when it's actually the best thing. If you're going to respond when you take something like this so quickly, that is the best. That to me, that is like, oh my goodness, this is really supporting my body. So everybody on this call has to know, when you get that phone call and somebody says, well, I'm feeling like the flu symptoms, or I'm tired, or whatever, my response is, that is awesome. That means that your body is feeling safe enough to rid some of the toxins that's keeping you sick. So this is great. But if you don't respond like that, then, it's a typical, oh, I don't know if this can help me because I'm feeling this way. And I tell them, well, what about all the other stuff you've been taking? You feel bad anyways, and you're not ridding anything. So, it's a win-win.
A lot of times I'll pull an Ashby. I'm going to nickname it that, because I just tell people, like, we were at a conference and somebody was complaining, and I said, here, try this. And I call it an Ashby. Tear open a hydro, put this under your tongue. It's going to be sour, but you can do it, and they're like, and then they swallow it, but within minutes they feel better. And that's the power of our product. Products don't work like our products do.
Beth, are there any questions before we hop off? And then these people can.
That's amazing. That's amazing, Dr. Russ. Is that right? That is fantastic. I'm going to do that with someone who's giving a little bit of, who's not sure. I'll do that. That is awesome. Oh my goodness. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, Hazel.
So what I'm going to recommend is everybody go and get that extra Core 4 if you can, or any Boost products that you can. Go out with the boom this month, and, just support the community around you that you don't have already, but you'll be prepared for it. So that's really what it's all about. Now, everybody, if you like what you hear, bring back a guest or 2 or 5. Let's have a competition. Whoever can bring 5 people on tonight at 6 o'clock, we'll put you in a drawing for a GLP special. How about that? All right, you got to have 5 though. All right, I'm setting the standards high. So we will see you at 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Mountain, and 3 o'clock Pacific. So have a good day, and we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Dr. Russ.